Land Rover Range Rover Evoque Review. The formula for the Range Rover Evoque seems so obvious now: make a car that has all the desirability of a Range Rover, with a beautiful interior and the styling turned up to 11, yet at a more affordable price. It wasn't so clear-cut at the start, given that the concept version that preceded the Evoque was called Land Rover LRX. But when it arrived it all made sense. The Evoque, offered as a 5-door, a striking 3-door whose looks befit its coupe tag, or as a convertible, is an SUV right at the premium end of the compact 4x4 market. It is powered by turbocharged 4-cylinder engines and, at the bottom of the range, runs with a price of just over £30,000. The meat of the range is closer to £40,000, while the convertibles start nearer the £50,000 mark. Front drive is available. So, too, are manual gearboxes, a petrol engine and a host of trim, styling and refinement features aching to take the price of a Range Rover Evoque towards £50,000. To find out if it is worth that, or any, kind of money is our purpose. A car's styling often merits no more than a few cursory mentions in our road test, but the Range Rover Evoque demands an exception. Supercars aside, only Citroen's DS3 and some retro hatches draw so heavily on their design as a selling point. The Evoque was born out of a desire to make Land Rover appeal to a more youthful audience. After a number of design studies were created, they were finally honed into the LRX concept car, which saw daylight at the 2008 Detroit Motor Show. Even then, its future was uncertain. Part or all of it could have become a premium Land Rover, or it could have been left as a show car. In the end, the whole design was adopted and given the Range Rover moniker. The Evoque is, as much as possible, the LRX in production form. Land Rover is coy about having the two cars, concept and reality, photographed together, lest the production version look limp by comparison. Little chance of that, we'd have thought. To our eyes, the Evoque is a brilliantly successful interpretation of how relevant, approachable and striking a contemporary 4x4 can look. Have you ever seen an SUV with slimmer side and rear windows and a wedgier waistline? Nor have we. Beneath the revolutionary skin, the Range Rover Evoque is a rather more revolutionary tale. Because it rolls down the same Merseyside production line as the Freelander, the two cars' architectures are inextricably linked. The Evoque's engineering is its own, true, but without the Freelander links, which extend to about 30% of the architecture, there'd be no Evoque. The Range Rover is up to 100 kilograms lighter than the Freelander, though, partly because it is much shorter. At 4,355 mm it's shorter than a Volkswagen Golf, and partly because of more extensive use of aluminium, both in its body panels and suspension, and plastics in the body. That's part of a drive for greater efficiency, as is the Range Rover Evoque's electric power steering system, which is fixed to the front subframe, rather than the body, to improve steering feel. The 2.2-liter diesel used in the Freelander, and in a raft of Ford, Peugeot and Citroën models, has been laid to rest, with Land Rover populating the range with two versions of its ingenium 2.0-liter oil burner, the eco-friendly and efficient ED4, available and only driving the front wheels, or 2.0-liter TD4 unit which produces 178 bhp. Thumb the starter to fire the diesel and chances are that you'll be pleasantly surprised by the relative absence of clatter at idle. For initial refinement, it feels to us on a par with this engine's application in Jaguar's XF4, in fact, anywhere else that derivatives of this unit have been used to date. To haul 1,815 kilograms, as tested, the Evoque's 178 bhp is on the modest side. At our test track, that power and 317 pounds-foot of torque propelled the Evoque to 60 miles per hour in 9.5 seconds and dispatched 30 to 70 miles per hour in 9.5 seconds. The claimed maximum is 124 miles per hour. These are not poor figures, and people do not usually come to SUVs expecting to find they go fast. Most Evoque buyers, however, will not have come to an SUV before and might be a mite surprised by how moderately their monetary outlay performs compared with the estate or coupe they had before it. The Evoque features Land Rover's terrain response system, which affects not only how the hardware and stability software reacts to different road surfaces, but also how much accelerator movement you need to make progress. Left in either no program selected or dynamic, both intended for road driving, the response is clean and smooth. There's a little creep from rest, step off is clean, and the 6-speed auto feels like it begins to lock up early to give positive shifts. Smooth progress is easy to make, with the box shifting mostly intelligently. It returns its best economy in its drive program, so sometimes it is a little flustered if you ask for slightly more power than it was expecting, making for a reluctant down change. Select Sport and things improve, but if, say, you're cruising between roundabouts but want a kick in the back on the way out, neither is quite the ideal compromise. There are shift paddles on the steering wheel if you want to make the decision yourself, something we found ourselves doing a touch more often than we'd expected. A 148 bhp ED4 variant is available just as a two-wheel drive model. Thanks in part to the 75 kg weight saving from the deletion of the four-wheel drive gubbins, the two-wheel drive Evoque will emit as little as 109 grams/km and return as much as 67.3 miles per gallon. The other available engine is a 237 bhp 2.0-liter turbo petrol, mated to 4WD and in automatic gearbox only. This engine dramatically alters the Evoque's character, playing to the strengths of taut, agile handling overlaid on proper off-road ability. It takes just a few hundred yards to sense this fastest Evoque's eager pace and the crisp revability of its engine. The convertible models are only available as automatics powered by the range-topping diesel or petrol engines.